Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for making the time to join us today. We are going to be just going through an overview of Baotree, um, essentially what we do and how we can help tourism entities and foundations. Like I requested, if you could just introduce yourselves on the chat, that would be great. And then we've got my colleagues Lauren and Dom to help out in the back, just look at any questions you may have. We want to have an as interactive session as possible. So if at any point you want a question to be asked, just raise your hands. And yeah, feel free to ask the questions. And yeah, let's dive straight in. So my name is Naheed Popat. I'm the East African Director for Baotree, essentially in charge of sales and partnerships. And yeah, like I mentioned, we've got my colleagues Dom, Lauren, and our founder and CEO Dimitri is also on the call. So yeah, I hope everyone can see the slides. So essentially, Baotree is a data platform, basically powering the future of sustainable tourism and social impact. So our vision is to unite sustainability and technology to drive global action. And our software tool centralizes how tourism and foundation teams track, verify, and report sustainability and prove their impact. So you can see some of the stats there in the slide. To date, we've tracked and enabled 413 sustainability impact projects, circa 44,000 tasks submitted. Yeah, and you can see the rest of the stats down there. But yeah, our goal is essentially to help foundations and tourism entities track and report their sustainability. We understand how difficult this is for a lot of entities, especially in remote locations. And this is why Dimitri, our founder and CEO, founded Baotree. This was especially after he traveled extensively through East Africa, seeing what entities go through on a daily basis and the struggles that they face when reporting on their impact. So this is what we're trying to help people with. You can see that oftentimes the data is fragmented. It's all over the place, from Excel to WhatsApp groups to Microsoft Word, etc. When it comes to the certifications that tourism entities are applying for, it's often very complex and very data heavy. So we're just trying to help simplify this process. Again, it's very time heavy when it comes to reporting, and we all understand that people have, a lot of important work to do. And what we're trying to do is just free up their time so that they can concentrate on the work at hand. We also, that in this day and age, there's a lot of pressure from guests and investors when it comes to sustainability and social impact. So like I said before, we're just trying to help people, capture this data, which is completely verifiable, so that they can share this with confidence with guests and investors. And then obviously there's a huge piece around regulatory compliance and the requirements that come with that. So why should you care about your sustainability? I'm sure you're all here because you do care about your sustainability. So I'm probably preaching to the choir a little bit here. But obviously, guests' expectations are rising, and this is just getting increasing exponentially as the years go by. Obviously, there are operator requirements, and this is often, from all the way from DMCs to individual guests, they all have these requirements which you need to meet. And then obviously, we all know what's happening in the world right now. I know that a lot of you are joining from the Western Cape, where there have been fires that have been ravaging, crucial ecosystems. So there's obviously a lot of biodiversity and habitat lost coming from unchecked development, environmental degradation, etc. Obviously, climate and disaster and social risks. And then sustainability is a booking filter. I think all of us in this space really understand that, if you don't address these issues, you're going to lose a lot of clientele. And then there's a lot of, there's has to be compliance with anti-greenwashing standards. And this can really be seen through the new EU directives that are coming out this year and the huge fines associated with companies making false green claims. And then I think these stats are really showcase the importance of it. So you can see 76% of global travelers express a desire to travel more sustainably. And 62% of investors consider sustainability when making investment choices. So again, just by not addressing these issues or being confident in showcasing your sustainability commitments, you're going to lose a lot of business and potentially lose investment. We're going to just dive now into, the actual Baotree tool. So again, this is a tech tool designed to make your lives easier. And essentially it can be used, data can be collected through an application or through our desktop app. And it's a simple data capture which has automated insights and it's property ready reporting that can track your social and environmental impact. And our goal is to help replace Excel and guesswork with structured and verifiable data. So I think this is the real beauty about Baotree is from when data is collected right through when it's presented, it's completely verifiable right through the whole stage of the data collection process. So how do we work with clients? We have a really unique way of approaching. Again, we don't want to just sell you software. It's really what we want to do is understand our clients' pain points and challenges that they have when it comes to sustainability. So we always start with the design and strategy. So we work with your team to understand what are your requirements, and we help co-design the data structure to essentially make it a lot easier to understand how you want to collect your data and how you want to present it. Using that information, we help design the data sets so that you're capturing the data that you really want. And then you collect the data on the mobile app, which makes it a lot easier, inclusive and accountable for teams. Again, this all works offline, so you could be in very remote locations, capture the data, and then as soon as you have 3G, 4G, or Wi-Fi connection, that data then gets uploaded onto the centralized platform. And then, like you can see there, we have a centralized dashboard, which gives you the ability to view, manage, and report on sustainability very simply and with integrity. Again, knowing that you can have the confidence to go to the external market, either your customers or investors, to really share your sustainability and know with confidence that you're not greenwashing. And again, in the dashboard, you can filter according to task type, data collector, date range, project type, etc. So just making it a lot easier for you to really hone in on the data that you would like to showcase. This gives an example of some of the clients that we currently have. So you can see we've got Cotters, Saruni Basecamp, Sabi Sabi, so really big brands. And I think what this shows you is kind of the importance that these brands place on sustainability and social impact and the benefit that they see in using Baotree. And then we've also, developed various partnerships or looking at developing partnerships with people like Ecotourism Kenya, just so that we understand the certifications landscape and what certification systems or schemes entities are trying to achieve, and how we can really design Baotree so that we give our clients the ability to be certification ready. These are some of the features of Baotree in the dashboard and the mobile app. So you can see that we have insights. So this is real-time dashboards that turn data into actionable insights. And I think this is really valuable from from an operation and management perspective, really understanding what's working, what's not, and how do you use data to really drive decision making, which I think is a real crucial aspect. So really putting your emotions aside and using the data to drive decision making. There you can see we've got the task feed. This allows you to manage, review, and optimize all data sets in a single live feed. Again, the ability to divide your data sets into projects, which again really allows you to organize your data collection how you want it to be organized. Again, what I want to reiterate here, it's not a one solution fits all. We're really a bespoke tool. So we can set up your projects however you want to collect your data and however you're operating. And I think that's a really unique feature of Baotree. Again, verification. So like I mentioned before, you can see the whole process of data collection right from when the data is collected, right to when it's being approved and verified. So in the system, you have the ability, three options when it comes to approving the data. You can approve it from the offset, you can reject it outright, or you can send it back for edit. Again, an amazing feature of Baotree is you can make certain data points prerequisites so that someone cannot submit that data without putting data in the prerequisite fields. Again, a really unique feature about Baotree is the map view. So anytime someone enters data, that comes with a GPS location, and then this can be viewed on our map view where you can click on that pin on the map, and it'll show you exactly that data entry, the date, who entered the data, any corresponding photos, etc. And then we've got the template builder. Again, we really understand that our clients are the experts when it comes to their data. So in the system, you have the ability to really build any templates that you want to have. So where that helps is if we've set you up and now all of a sudden you've come up with a new project, we don't want our clients to be charged every time they want to develop a new template. So you really have the ability to go into the system and develop any templates according to any new projects or programs that may come up. And then you're able to, again, divide your team into different groups because we understand that not everyone is responsible for all data collection. So you're able to divide your team into groups that will have access to specific data templates. And then again, an amazing feature that we have is the notification system. And what this allows you to do is just remind team members when they need to enter the data. And this is really great for accountability and traceability to understand who's responsible and when they're responsible for entering the data. Again, we've been working on some amazing new features and we're really excited to be launching these later this year. So one is the AI agent feature, and this is going to be AI powered onboarding, sustainability coaching, and investor grade reporting. Again, one of the things we're really passionate about and understand that there needs to be a kind of a bit of a paradigm shift here is ed tech. So we've really been working hard on our education and engagement piece. So this is going to allow people to come into the platform, into the community space, and really get access to key educational material. We do understand it's very daunting when you're starting on your sustainability journey. So our whole ambition and goal here is to make it easier for people to have access to key resources. And then the Living Baotree is, again, we're really excited about this. And this is a knowledge and news hub, which is developed by our user-generated content. So what this will really give our clients the ability to do is showcase the amazing work that they're doing. And again, kind of helping people who are on starting this daunting journey of sustainability to get some insights into what other people are doing, what's worked, what hasn't, etc. Just giving them a real good platform like I said, to have access to understand what people have done well and what's working in the sustainability space. So these are some case studies that we've decided to showcase. And again, this is with the approval of our clients, because we would never showcase clients' data or what they're working on without their approval. So you can see cottage safaris really needed a way to translate their day-to-day operations into an accurate and consistent sustainability data without disrupting teams on the ground. By working with Baotree, they designed a clear sustainability data architecture and onboarded it into our centralized platform. This really transformed fragmented data into reliable insights and streamlined their reporting and again, like I said before, strengthened their decision making. Just giving them the ability to really use data to make decisions on the ground. This is another great one because, like I mentioned, our focus is really in the tourism space, but really understood that foundations also and NGOs had a real issue when it came to data. So Valiapa Foundation partnered with Baotree to transform their fragmented conservation and community data, again, into a reliable and centralized system. We helped co-design their data sets and onboarded their teams into the platform, and they've now streamlined all of their reporting, again, strengthening decision making and measuring their impact with confidence across all programs. Again, what I kind of want to showcase with foundations is we understand the funding landscape is so competitive and complex. And what we're really trying to do here is make it a lot easier for foundations to showcase their impact through verified data, which makes it easier for them to basically receive funding. Again, African Bush Camps Foundation. So as they expanded their footprint, their reporting was very fragmented, and the limited visibility made it difficult to track sustainability impact across their camps. So through the collaborative framework design and platform implementation, we centralized their data and reporting across their portfolio. And again, this resulted in clear oversight, stronger team alignment, and the ability to turn sustainability insights into action at scale. So again, whether you're one property or many, there is a real benefit to using Baotree. And again, just an overview of the team. We're really passionate about tech, nature, and data. And again, so we're across different locations. We've got team members in South Africa, Kenya, in the US, and in the UK. And again, our team really helps when it comes to onboarding your team and just really being human focused, essentially, when it comes to helping you understand what are your pain points, how can we help, and just being available to basically help with any issues that you may have when it comes to using Baotree or onboarding. Thank you so much. Yeah, and like I said, we really want to keep this as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions, yeah, please feel free to let us know. Dimitri, do you want to introduce yourself? I see you put your camera on.
I was just coming to say hello, and thanks for that, Naheed. Taryn, how's it going? Brenda, Georgie. Yeah, I know a couple of these lovely faces and names. But yeah, team, look, really, this is an opportunity just to come and ask us questions, a bit of a World Cafe style, and Naheed's done a brilliant job of just walking through the Baotree system and solution. And as he also communicated, there's a lot of energy and excitement coming into 2026 with that EU Empowering Consumers Directive, which is going to become mandatory this year. I know it's an EU legislation, but the EU is very much the parent when it comes to governing laws around the world. And if your lodges or properties are on Booking.com or TUI or Expedia, and you aren't complying with these directives, there's risk of being removed from those directives from a very simple just reporting on your sustainability. And so, yeah, again, I'm not going to repeat the journey that Naheed took us on now, but please feel free to ask us questions, difficult ones if you want. We're here for it. So it's an absolute pleasure.
I think, Tree, it might be useful. What I did forget to mention is that I've been on the other side of Baotree. So I was previously CEO of an entity called Wildlife Habitat Trust. And I think it's always useful to hear real life examples of how these kind of things are being used. And what we really struggled with is the entity that I worked for was running two conservancies, one in the Mara and one in Selenke. And we had a range of community projects. And these areas are really remote with limited service. And it was really hard capturing impact until Baotree came and helped us. And essentially, we were using Baotree to look at situations of human-wildlife conflict, um, community programs and projects like our beekeeping projects. And what this really helped with was our teams on the ground were able to really capture this data. And we were confident, like I mentioned before, to make decisions on the ground, knowing that we had this data coming in. And it really, really made our life a lot easier. And again, to just kind of reiterate how easy the system is to use, a lot of our rangers and community staff who were using the tool basically didn't have, a lot of them were only educated up until the age of 15. And they were able to really, with the help of the Baotree team and training them, were really confident with using the app. And what that really helped me with, sitting in an office so remotely, just really understanding that the teams are doing the work on the ground and that the data was coming on a regular basis.
Thanks, Naheed. There's a question that's come in from Georgie. Thanks, Naheed, for the presentation. Do you have examples of a dashboard showing data insights, either for commercial or foundation? So, Georgie, yes, we do, and more than happy to take that offline because we don't want to necessarily share someone's sensitive, but we do have a client that's given us permission to do something where we can present kind of what they're working with. But yeah, I don't want to present it in something that's being recorded for public domain.
But we also do have a demo account where we can run you through exactly how the data is collected and give you some insights into the data that we've collected. Because like Dimitri said, one of the things that we are very passionate about is keeping our clients' data private. That's one of the real amazing things about Baotree is that your data is protected when it's with us.
So we'll follow up separately, Georgie. I think we're overdue a catch-up. Brenda, Taryn, thanks for sharing your faces with us. Yes.
Hi, I have a quick question. How have you seen it work for travel agents? Like when it's a foundation and it's really all about full-on impact. I'm a new startup, so how would you have you seen it work for agents and how it's been used?
So thanks, Taryn. Do you want to go take this, Naheed?
No, I was just what I was gonna say, Taran. It's really the beauty about Baotree and going back to is it's completely bespoke, right? So that's where we come in to work with you to understand, okay, as a travel agent, what data do you want to collect? And then we're able to on the platform. This another beautiful thing about Baotree is we're able to collect qualitative and quantitative data. So that's where that whole onboarding process comes in. We really work with you to understand, okay, what data do you want to collect? Do you want inspection documents for when you go check out properties, for example? Then we work with you to understand, okay, this is the checklist that you want to use, and then we just put that into a template.
And so, Taryn, like African Scenic Safaris operates at the base of Kili, near Arusha. And they're travel agents and they have their offices where they're also tracking their own water, waste, and energy from just their offices and HQ point of view. And then all of their field guides who then are taking people on tours through Tarangire and all those beautiful locations also have access to our platform because they want to, as a travel agent, they want to reduce amount of drive time because that's fuel and gas. Not necessarily gas, but fuel and diesel. And so from that point of view, they're promoting more of their like eco walking trails, their camelback safaris, horseback safaris, birding, photography walking. And so it's more, they've just been conscious about how they're promoting kind of the sustainable experiences that aren't necessarily utilizing any carbon outputs or emissions. And so again, yeah, like Naheed said, we just custom and tailor it based on what operations they do have and work it around there.
And are you able to help on the customer side? Like, for me, it's like the impact that I like to create or try to create is connection to nature, because I feel if people feel more connected to nature by the end of the trip, then they're going to protect nature more. Is there something you can do on the customer side of that?
So the output is the communication strategy. You've now got all this wonderful data, and now it comes down to storytelling, but not just storytelling for the sake of it. You've now got evidence as well as photographs and data to help communicate that story. So yes, in terms of the outputs and creating your content and your follow-ups for the travelers that did visit the destinations, you've now got a whole worth of information and data that you can then communicate back to the guest and the experience. And hopefully that becomes part of your distribution in terms of your go-to-market strategy and how you're going to acquire more customers through that storytelling.
And the ability to have everything under one centralized platform, I think, is a real benefit, basically.
Chris, you got your hand up.
Yeah, just one question is, I don't think you mentioned anything whether it would be possible to pull a sustainability report once you've got a maybe 12 months worth of information uploaded without having to go and do that as a separate thing. Is there an option to be able to do that?
Yeah, I think, Chris, we did have this as part of our previous convos, I think. What's coming, and I'm not going to put a timeline on it, but I'm going to say within the next 3 months, hopefully shorter, putting pressure on my team, is everyone keeps asking us for a little magic button. You've got 12 months worth of data. Can you please give us a magic button? I'm going to be very transparent here and say, because we are so customizable and bespoke, we're dealing with a lot of unstructured data, and a lot of unstructured data, and that previous system that we know that you were using was structured because there was a template tied to this particular framework and methodology, whereas we are fully customizable. So the long story short there is that thanks to the power of generative AI, that's something that we're releasing, that you'll be able to prompt and communicate with your data in Baotree's dashboard to say, I want a chart to compare the last 3 months worth of my bed night capacity. Some month 1 was 80%, month 2 was 60%, month 3 was 70%. Can you give me a comparable of my water, waste, and energy over those 3 months to start seeing and viewing those trends? So it's not necessarily going to be an impact report, but it's going to give you the ability in the same way that you probably work with Gemini, Claude, or Copilot, or ChatGPT. We're going to have that in Baotree where you can actually communicate and ask and prompt your information to then create those reports. So it will always need that human touch, but at least the analysis can be done a lot faster within the Baotree infrastructure. But right now you can export via Excel, and there are some layers of operational data that you can monitor at the moment. Chris?
Okay, thanks very much. And then something that I haven't seen anybody do yet is to actually gather the information directly from various platforms when we're talking loggers and that type of thing. Is there any movement on that? Because that would take the admin part away instead of having to go and gather it and input it and so on.
It's talking API, Tree.
Are you talking about multiple systems integrating, Chris, or are you talking about, you said loggers, do you mean your team members actually collecting the data to come into your dashboard?
No, it's actual loggers like on energy or water and that type of thing, but they're on different platforms. Depends which one you use. So instead of having to actually go and mine the data and fill it into a spreadsheet or whatever, that it actually pulls the data at the end of every month, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've never seen it yet, but it would be nice.
Chris, it's actually a valuable question we get a lot from clients, because you're right, like with all the solar systems that are being implemented, those are all now smart meters, right? And
yes.
yeah, wherever we can, we always speak to our engineering team to see if those APIs can talk to each other.
Okay. Just something for future.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much.
Pleasure, Chris. Yeah, and we would also need it's 50% Baotree and 50% the other company to actually facilitate that key to integrate. So yeah, because we're spread across the African continent, there's over 5,000 plus suppliers. But we're going to make that simple in the near term. But always start the work and then see the business case. to do that integration.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you too. And Georgie, you did put your hand up and then it went down. Did you want to share anything?
Sorry, no, I was actually just trying to do a thumbs up, but I raised my hand.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No worries, no worries. Cool. Any more questions for Naheed or Bao crew?
Oh, Tree, maybe we should also mention that we do have a webinar also next week being hosted by a customer experience team, where they're going to go through all the new features that are going to be launched. And there is some giveaways because there'll be a challenge. So I encourage you, if you have time and you're willing, please attend. And then also Dimitri will be here at the Business of Conservation conference in March. So if you'd like to meet, please just let us know, and we can arrange a face-to-face.
That's Kenya, Nairobi.
Yeah, sorry. I should have mentioned that.
No, you're in Nairobi, I'm in the Kruger, so we've got all sides covered. Yes, Taryn, we can, and we'll share the recording as well as the presentation that Naheed walked through. And then you'll see there was a couple of links within each of the pages that will link out to either video content or the deeper dive in the case study. So you can see how Baotree has been systematically applied in different geographies and regions. So Naheed, thank you. Do you want to close us off?
You're welcome. Yeah, no, just a big thank you to everyone for attending. We really appreciate your time. We know it was a bit short notice, but yeah, we all know how busy you are, and thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And yeah, if you would like a demo of the software, please just feel free to reach out. I'll drop my email address and phone number in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me on email or WhatsApp, or give me a call and we can arrange to have a demo.
Thank you, Naheed. May everyone have a lovely weekend.
Thanks so much, guys. See you soon.